first met, you just saw my good, positive qualities, but I'm really, really a corrupt person, as you are about to see. The reason I say that is because some people are very corrupt, but they're very slick and very intelligent and able to hide that from you. And by the time you realize that, they may be your ex. But there is no talking to that person. You got to get away from a corrupt person. There is no way to rationalize. There is no way to talk. You got to put distance between you and that person, because it's only going to get worse. That's what makes them corrupt. So you can't go back to that person and talk. Once you give them information, they're going to use it for a corrupt purpose to benefit them. And the benefit to them could just be their amusement.
And if that's the situation, then I think the next best thing would be to deal with it. Face it. Stop running from it and face it. Because if you run from it today, you got to run from it tomorrow. You got to run from it the next day. And you got to run from it as long as that man is around. And I just don't think that's no way for nobody to live. So it's time to face that thing. I think that if it's like that, then the universe is telling you, you got to be accountable for this. You got to stand tall to this. That's your Goliath. It's time to knock them down. And you knock them down by being accountable, and however low you got to look, you got to humble yourself and just do it. And that will also help you grow in the future, because that's what's going to keep you from it next time. Next time you having some good old pillow talk with your man, honey, you decide you want to tell people business, you're going to remember that shame and that guilt that you felt when you was in this situation, and it's going to help you keep your darn mouth shut. So it's going to work for your greater good in the end, but you're going to have to face it today, because you can't let that ex have that much power over you. Don't get nobody that much power over you. Nope. And I know you could probably think, like, what if I got to go to jail? What if it's some long lines of jail? You better be ready to go to jail, or you're going to stay in that ex's jail. Either way, you're in dang on jail. So
you are very correct that you might have to disclose it for the betterment of your peace of mind. But that's going to have a blow-over effect with the people whose business you put out there. That may basically change your relationship with them forever.
It will.
It depends on what it was and to how they begin to feel. They may still associate with you, but you can tell that the association is different and may be different forever. Depends on how forgiving they are. Some people are very forgiving. Some people are not forgiving at all. You get one chance to, quote unquote, mess them over.
And that's
what you get. That's one. Yep. You get one.
That's it. And that's just something you'll have to face. But again, that'll be something that'll help you along the line later, right? Because you lose somebody that's really good to you or that you really value, it'll help you keep your mouth shut next time. You will learn how to appreciate being discreet.
It depends on how you're wired. Some people can't help it. When they begin to trust a person, love a person, spend a lot of time, they cannot help telling what they know. They can't help it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a temptation for them. That's why I'm saying you don't get over temptation. You just don't give in to temptation. You never get over it. If that's the temptation within your mind, and that's a character trait of yours to tell what you know to people who you're close to, you're going to do it. You're going to try to stop. You're going to try to limit it. You're going to try to limit who you tell. Very hard to say you can stop unless you're just not wired that way, in which case you never would have told them in the first place. It would have just a secret between another person you told. You would just tell them your business, but not anybody else's business that you are privy to.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely going to be a practice, something that you're going to practice. I don't think it's going to come overnight, honey. I always want to give room for people to change. I do think that anybody that wants to change can change. Is that change going to happen overnight? How long that change takes? That depends on the person. That depends on their characteristics and where they're at. But I do think that people can change if that's what they really want to do. But like you said, it's going to be a fallout, definitely. And that's just something you're going to have to deal with. But wouldn't that be better just to go ahead and deal with that instead of having it over your head and never know when it's going to hit? Like, go on, hammer me now. Hammer me where I know it's coming versus just hitting me upside the head, later. I just feel like we got to deal with it. Stop running. Just deal. That's always the best way. And God is good. Like, what I've noticed about situations like that, it ain't never the way you think it's going to be. Your mind will play way more tricks on you than anything else. So, like, you could say, I might lose this person. This person might hate me for life. That's your mind. That's what you think. And then you might come clean to that person and tell that person, and that person might not treat you like you thought. They might, a lot of times, if I did something real wrong and I had to be accountable, most times where I was really scared to come clean, I found that when I came clean, it didn't even go the way I thought it would go. You know, the turnout wasn't even the way I thought it was. It was like, girl, what was you waiting on? What was your problem? You so crazy. It's like all this stuff that we running from. God really want to show you that it's not bigger than you. It cannot kill you. It cannot destroy you. But as long as you run from it, man, it can make you think that it can do all kind of things to you. That's the thing. These things really don't have no power over you like you think they do. Yeah, you might lose a friend, but just like you lose a friend, you could gain another one. And you might lose a friend this year just to come back to that same friend later on in life when you are both at a different place in your life and it's a better fit, you know? But I think that at the end, it's going to be the best thing for you no matter how that spins. It's not going to put you in a worse place than you already in. You, that thing you trying to avoid, you are that thing. You do tell people business. If you around here telling everybody business and letting it all hang out, then you gotta stand in it. That's what you do. That's who you are. You got to be true. You know, be who you is. Sometimes people know people talk a lot and tell all their business, and they know who you are, and they can appreciate that because they know, let me not say this in front of this person because this is the way she is, versus you pretending like you one way and then doing another thing. I can appreciate you just being transparent and letting me know, look, girl, I can't hold water. You might not want to tell me no because I can't hold water. I can appreciate that better than I can appreciate somebody sitting alone like they can and they really can't. So either way, I think it would benefit you. What you think, Keith? Do you think that it perhaps will benefit them in the long run?
Well, let's go back. You said originally we're talking about stress. Not everybody feels stressed the same way. But if this situation is stressing you out, you got to do something to relieve it. Now, I agree with you totally. Addressing it with the person who is the subject of what you were saying is the best way to do that. Where we kind of diverge is that you're going to be able to still deal with that person's still going to want to be around you, that person's still going to want to be your friend. And I think the last thing you were saying was, well, maybe that's just part of your nature. See, right there, to a lot of people, and I'm included in that group, that's a deal breaker for me if I know you like that. I'll never want to be your friend. I need to get away from you. I wish you the best in life. We'll never need to talk no more. But I'm not going to say that. It's just going to happen. And I'm not going to tell anybody that you can't hold water. But, hey, if your name comes up in conversation, it's going to be, well, we really don't talk no more. And whoever knows me will take from that there was a negative connotation to either your behavior or your character. That's why we don't talk no more. But I'm not having to say it. I don't have to say it. Perceptive people pick up on things. People who basically have certain type of character flaws are deal breakers for me. Literally, they would have to benefit me in such a phenomenal way that 99% of the population does not have those type of resources or character traits that they could benefit you that much. You could find a replacement for them, somebody who fits that character trait and what they bring to the table. If you have that, you cannot keep my business to yourself, and you just have to tell it. Then I can't read around you if I know that. So that would probably be best to keep that from me, because once I figure it out, I'm gone. I would accept your apology, and then I'm gone. Or if I find it out, I'm gone. That's a deal breaker for me. Now, I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm saying that if self-preservation is the first law of man, well, that's one of the reasons. That's one of the ways I think I protect myself.
And I don't see anything wrong with that. You have the right to do it. I was never saying that they're going to be in the same boat that they were in prior to doing what they did. What I'm saying is your imagination, what you think can happen, can take you to far worse places than what might actually happen. So just the same way
I'm in total agreement with that.
So just the same way someone could decide not to talk to you anymore because they realize they don't want to be associated with a person like you. The same way somebody can do that is the same way somebody can decide to say, you know what, I'll give you another chance, but now I just know to be careful with these things when it comes to you. So it can go either way is what I was saying. But your imagination,
I agree with that.
The person probably will cut you off, and you have to learn how to be okay with that. But just like it's a chance of the person cutting you off, it's a chance that they may not. So take that into consideration too. Everybody got right to feel how they feel. Some people, they don't want to be around nobody that can't hold water. And I think you got that right to be that, to feel that way. Like, do you. But at the same time, I don't think anyone should have to be held hostage because somebody might leave them or somebody might not be their friend. Like, you have to learn how to be okay with that. You're not going to be able to satisfy everybody. You're not going to be able to please everybody. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have hardships. Do you bottle yourself up? I would say no. You just got to go ahead and take the consequences. That's it. Whatever that look like. If that look like you letting them go and not talking to them and, you know, letting people know, like, I don't mess with them, then, hey, that was part of the consequences. And I think that though that consequence still might help that other person to grow better and be better for the next time or the next friend. If it affected them to, right, if they really losing sleep about losing you as a friend, it should help change them. Now, if they just say, oh, they care, but yet they ain't losing no sleep and it didn't really hurt them or affect them, the fact that you walked away, then no, it's not going to change them because the connection wasn't there, right, for them to change. But if I lost something that was really valuable to me, something that I value, something that I deemed important in my life, and I lost it because of my mouth or because of something I did, I think that will push me to change. But will it push everybody to change? Perhaps not. But I think those are the ones, like I said, it wasn't that big of a deal then. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
So, yeah, that's something else. But I do think that it's better to face it than to run from it because it's something you got to run from for the rest of your life, you know. And it's like, why? The God say what's in the dark going to always come to the light. So that's why I guess it's very important for us to make sure whatever we're doing in behind closed doors or in what we call the dark, that it is something that we can stand in the light, because that's what I had to learn growing up. Like, whatever you do, make sure it's something that you can do in front of people. You know, whoever you're going to be behind closed doors, make sure it's somebody you can be when all eyes is on you. The most important time to be your best self is when ain't nobody looking, or when you think you in the dark, because baby, it ain't no such thing as dark at the end of the day. That's what that X showing us, ain't it? Everything come out.
Well, that's a true statement right there. Amen.
Yes. So you can't run from that. You know, you might think you can, but you really can't. So why try? But I do think that if I'm upset with my ex for sleeping with somebody I know, or something along those lines, or like a coworker or something like that, I think that it's tied into some stuff that's still connected to me. I think it all goes back to still something connected to you, whether you're scared they're going to tell something or whether you still have feelings for them. But it's something you need to work out because, like I said, I don't think that people should have that type of power over us, especially when it's a non-factor in our lives. You know, it can't really be a non-factor in your life if you can just come back and forth and mess with you when you see fit. Like, no. Now, those that do cope with that, I mean, to some degree, I take my hat off to them because that's a lot. That's a lot to have to deal with, to be hiding stuff and that's a lot, you know. But you have us that choose to be that way. They find that to be easier. Hey, that's them. It just doesn't work for me. You know, it just don't feel healthy for me. But I ain't never the one to tell nobody how they should handle anything. So I just like to look at it all and learn from it all, you know. So one that runs from it, what will we gain out of that? Like, if we don't confess and come clean, how else will we deal with it? What other ways could that turn out besides your doggone ex extorting you?
That's the way it turns out with some people. Some people do not engage in behavior that's healthy. Even if you tell them that's healthy, they won't do it. They'll live with the stress. They won't be able to sleep. They'll age quicker. They'll get sick. And unfortunately, some of them will even be out of here. Instead of doing the healthy thing that you've just told them, that I totally agree is probably much better to do it that way. But unfortunately, some people just don't want to take the right thing. They'll just live in the misery.
Yeah, and that's what brings it back to these be choices that we say we don't have, that we ultimately do have, and choices that we say we don't make, but we ultimately are making. And so I just wanted to bring light to that. But I thought that this was a very good conversation. I would love to hear what you guys have to say and how you feel about it. See if you have any good words for us to end this.
Well, the only thing I could say about this whole conversation, you better identify if the people in your life that you're close to are corrupt or not. If they're corrupt, make that a deal breaker and get away from them, because corrupt people will always be able to do you harm.
Yes. All right, you guys. Until next time, y'all have a good night.
Love you.